Have you ever felt the chill of an unseen presence? The weight of eyes watching you from the shadows? Tonight, we journey into the unknown, where reality and the supernatural blurs. These are not tales spun from imagination. They are true stories, whispered by those who live through them. Stories of terror that defy explanation. Stories that will make you question what lies beyond the veil of our world. From rolling waves of the North Atlantic to the cursed railway tracks near the village of Baharampore and a quiet Marshland House in Kolkata. These encounters will haunt you long after the screen fades to black. So, turn off the lights, lock your doors, and prepare yourself. What you are about to hear is real.
This is a true story, though I still struggle to believe it happened to me. It was March 2006, and I was serving as a cadet on my first and last foreign-going ship, named the MV Sweet Faith. The entire crew was Indian, and we were sailing through the North Atlantic en route to Trieste, Italy, carrying a cargo of wheat. The weather was calm, the sea serene, and the ship's maintenance was underway. Little did I know, the calm would soon give way to a terror that would haunt me forever. It was around 10:30 p.m. when the chief officer called my cabin, instructing me to close the hatch covers. These covers, like the lids of a giant box, sealed the holds where we stored the cargo. Earlier that day, we had been painting the underside of the hatch covers, and they were left partially open to let the paint dry. I grabbed my torch, informed the bridge of my whereabouts, and headed to the deck. The night was pitch black, the kind of darkness that swallows sound and light whole. I started the hydraulic pump and began closing the hatch covers. As I moved to close the second cover, my torch flickered and died. Annoyed, I radioed the bridge to switch on the forward lights. The third officer on watch told me it would take a couple of minutes. I lit a cigarette to pass the time, the glow of the ember the only light around me. The ship creaked softly, the waves lapping against the hull, and then I heard it. A faint scratching noise behind me. I turned, expecting to see a malfunctioning hatch cover, but what I saw froze me in place. There, standing just 15 yards away, was a woman. She was dressed in light, tattered clothes, her hair short and disheveled. Her face was pale, almost glowing in the darkness, though I couldn't understand how I could see her so clearly. Her eyes, oh, her eyes, were pools of sorrow, carrying the weight of the world's grief. I tried to scream, but my voice was a mere whisper. My feet felt nailed to the deck, my body paralyzed. She began to move toward me slowly, deliberately, as if time itself had slowed. It took her 30 seconds to cover the distance, but it felt like an eternity. When she was just inches from my face, I could see her clearly. A strikingly beautiful woman, perhaps in her mid-30s, with features that hinted at South American origins. But her beauty was marred by an unnatural pallor, a sickly yellow hue that made her seem wrong. Just as I began to process her presence, the forward lights flickered on. I turned my head toward the light, and when I looked back, she was gone. My legs gave out, and I collapsed, unconscious. I woke up to the chief officer bending over me, his face a mix of concern and skepticism. He didn't ask questions, simply told the crew to let me rest. The next day I confided in him, recounting the eerie encounter. He dismissed it as stress or fatigue, a side effect of the heavy workload on ships. I tried to believe him, to write it off as a bad dream, but deep down, I knew it was real. A month later, we were in the Mediterranean Sea, having loaded steel coils in Alexandria, Egypt. My duty was to check the temperature in the holds daily. On the fourth day, as I descended into hold number 5, I felt an inexplicable chill. The air was heavy, oppressive, I placed the thermometer on the floor and began recording the readings when suddenly I felt her presence. I turned and there she was, the same woman, sitting between two steel coils. This time she was weeping, her face wet with tears.
Who are you? What do you want?
She didn't answer, only stared at me with those sorrowful eyes. The ship lurched violently, rolling in the calm sea. The duty seaman shouted for me to come up, fearing the coils might shift. I turned back to the woman, but she was gone. From that day on, she became a constant presence in my life. She appeared in the crew's toilet, the radio room, even my cabin. Her frequency increased, her silent stares unnerving me.
What do you want? How can I help you?
But she never answered. One night, after drinking vodka with the second officer, I broke down, crying and confessing my fear. He didn't fully believe me but agreed something was wrong. That same night, she appeared in my cabin, dressed in a bluish gown with an Arabian-style cap. She sat on my bed, her touch cold but gentle, and began massaging my forehead. Her voice, soft and melodic, whispered in a language I couldn't understand. I felt a strange comfort, as if she was soothing me. But when I opened my eyes, she was gone, vanishing through the bulkhead like smoke. The captain, a Catholic from Mumbai, took my story seriously. He gave me religious literature and advised me to stay strong. But it was his final warning that sent chills down my spine.
Pratap, never whistle on a ship.
And then it hit me. The first time I saw her, I had been whistling. It was a habit of mine, a way to pass the time. But now I realized it might have summoned her. After that, the encounters stopped. I felt a strange energy around me, as if her presence had left a mark. I became faster, sharper, more focused. The crew noticed the change, and even the chief officer, who had doubted me, acknowledged my improvement. 6 months later, I left the MV Sweet Faith, never to return. My mother, worried for my safety, insisted I stay ashore. But I still remember her, the woman with the sorrowful eyes, the hauntingly beautiful face. She wasn't a demon or a ghost to me, she was a memory, a presence that changed me forever. Who was she? Why did she choose me? Was she a lost soul, a victim of some tragedy at sea, or something else entirely? I'll never know. But one thing is certain, the MV Sweet Faith carried more than just cargo. It carried secrets, sorrows, and a haunting that I will never forget. This story is based on true events, but the names and details have been altered to protect identities. If you ever find yourself on a ship, remember, never whistle in the dark. You never know what might answer.
The train jerked to a halt so abruptly that I was thrown forward, my face nearly colliding with the seat in front of me. Around me, passengers groaned and cursed, their voices a cacophony of confusion. I peered out the window, my heart pounding as the train came to a complete stop in the middle of nowhere. The sun was beginning to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the tracks. Someone must have pulled the emergency chain, I muttered to myself, though the thought did little to calm my nerves. The train was just one station away from Baharampore, my destination, and I had been looking forward to a peaceful weekend with my friend Ankush. But now, something felt off. Outside, passengers spilled onto the tracks, their voices rising in a clamor of curiosity and concern. I joined them, stepping onto the gravelly ground, my eyes scanning the scene. It wasn't long before the police arrived, their flashlights cutting through the gathering dusk. The whispers began almost immediately. Someone had been struck by the train, a life lost in an instant.
Don't look. There's nothing to see but blood and mutilated limbs. It will only upset you.
I felt a hand grip my arm firmly, pulling me back. It was the man who had been my companion for the past 4 hours, a fellow traveler with whom I had shared stories and laughter. His face was pale, his voice low and urgent. I hesitated, my curiosity warring with his warning. In the end, I stayed back, my mind racing with questions. Who had died? Why had they been on the tracks? The questions gnawed at me as we boarded a cycle van to Baharampore, the only available transport. The journey was pleasant enough, the cool evening air brushing against my face as we rattled along the narrow road. My companion and I talked of politics, education, and the dangers of the traffic system, but my thoughts kept drifting back to the accident. Death had always been a distant concept to me, something I avoided thinking about, but now it felt uncomfortably close. When I finally reached Ankush's house, I decided to keep the incident to myself. His mother had prepared a feast, and I didn't want to spoil the evening with tales of tragedy. The rural setting was a welcome change from the chaos of Kolkata, and I enjoyed the simplicity of life here. The starry nights, the fresh food, the warmth of Ankush's family and friends. But the accident wasn't far from anyone's mind. As we sat on the roof, sipping coconut milk under the vast expanse of the night sky, one of Ankush's friends brought it up.
Did you hear about the girl who died on the tracks this afternoon?
He asked casually, as if discussing the weather.
You were on that train, weren't you? Did you see anything?
I recounted what I knew, careful to keep my tone neutral. To my surprise, they laughed, a loud, raucous laughter that echoed in the night. It wasn't cruel exactly, but it was unsettling. To them, such accidents were commonplace, almost routine.
You're not scared, are you?
His words stung. I wasn't a coward, and I didn't appreciate the implication. Before I could respond, Bhuvan, one of his friends, chimed in.
If you're so brave, why don't you go to the spot where it happened? Right now, alone.
The challenge hung in the air, heavy and unspoken. I could feel their eyes on me, waiting for my reaction. I wasn't one to back down from a dare, especially not in front of Ankush and his friends. So, against my better judgment, I agreed. The night was eerily quiet as we made our way to the railway tracks. The stars provided the only light, their faint glow barely illuminating the path. Ankush and his friends hung back, their voices hushed as I walked ahead. The ground was uneven, scattered with stones that threatened to trip me with every step. My heart pounded in my chest, my palms slick with sweat. As I approached the spot where the accident had occurred, I saw it. A shadowy figure draped in white, moving slowly, almost rhythmically. My breath caught in my throat. Was it a trick of the light? A figment of my imagination? I took another step forward, my pulse racing. The figure became clearer. It was a person, their movements deliberate, almost ritualistic. They were swabbing the ground with water, their voice a low murmur.
Itioracto. So much blood.
I froze, my mind racing. Was this the ghost of the girl who had died, or something else entirely? The air grew colder, the darkness pressing in around me. I wanted to turn back, to run, but my feet felt rooted to the ground. Suddenly, a hand clamped down on my shoulder. I nearly screamed, my heart leaping into my throat. It was Ankush, his face pale in the dim light. He had followed me, and now he stood beside me, his eyes wide with fear. Together, we approached the figure. As we drew closer, we realized it wasn't a ghost at all, but an old man, the station master. His face was gaunt, his eyes hollow, as he continued to scrub the ground, muttering to himself. Ankush explained in a hushed voice that the station master had lost his son in a similar accident 25 years ago. The tragedy had broken him, leaving him mentally disturbed. Ever since, he had taken it upon himself to clean the tracks after every accident, as if trying to erase the pain and bloodshed. We left the station master to his grim task, the weight of the night settling heavily on my shoulders. The laughter of Ankush and his friends felt distant now, their earlier teasing meaningless in the face of such sorrow. As I lay in bed that night, the image of the station master haunted me. His hunched figure, his whispered words, the endless cycle of grief and loss. The accident had been tragic, but it was the living who bore the true burden of death. I never spoke of that night again, but it stayed with me, a reminder of the fragility of life and the shadows that linger in the corners of our world. And though I left Baharampore the next day, the memory of the station master and his quiet, desperate ritual followed me, a ghostly presence that I could never quite shake. This story is based on true events, though names and details have been altered. The railway tracks of Baharampore have seen countless tragedies, each leaving behind echoes of sorrow. If you ever find yourself near those tracks at night, listen closely. You might hear the whispers of the past, carried on the wind. And if you see a figure in white, remember, not all ghosts are born of the dead. Some are the living, trapped in their own endless cycles of grief.
I've always considered myself a rational person, someone who doesn't believe in ghosts or the supernatural. But there's one night that shattered my skepticism and left me questioning everything I thought I knew. This is the story of what happened in my house on the night of June 8, 2004. A night that still sends chills down my spine whenever I think about it. Our house was relatively new, built on reclaimed marshland in Kolkata. My father and I had watched it being constructed from the ground up, and there had never been anything unusual about it. It was a spacious, modern home, and I had spent countless nights there alone, studying, watching TV, or even enjoying a beer. Nothing out of the ordinary had ever happened, until that fateful night. It was the night before my Visual C++ programming exam, and as usual, my friends and I had gathered at my house for a group study session. There were 5 of us: Saurav, Arnab Das, Arijit, Joydeep, and myself. We started studying around midnight, the room filled with the hum of conversation and the occasional burst of laughter. Everything was normal until 2:30 a.m. The first sign that something was wrong came in the form of a dog's howl. It wasn't just any howl, it was eerie, unnatural. The sound started at one end of the street and seemed to move to the other, as if a single dog was running while howling. This was strange because it was summer and dogs rarely howled due to cold or hunger in our area. We went outside to investigate, and that's when we felt it. A sudden icy wind that seemed to blow only around us. The rest of the street felt warm, but our immediate surroundings were unnaturally cold. Uneasy but trying to brush it off, we went back inside and resumed studying, leaving the doors and windows open for ventilation. That's when things took a terrifying turn. Arnab, who had been quietly studying, suddenly looked up and stared out the window behind me. His face went pale, his eyes wide with fear. It was as if he was seeing something, or someone, that the rest of us couldn't.
Arnab, what's wrong?
I asked, but he didn't respond. He just kept staring, his expression frozen in terror. Then, without warning, he collapsed as if someone had pushed him. When he opened his eyes again, I almost screamed. His eyes were no longer normal. They were pale yellow, with red veins crisscrossing the pupils. His body was cold, and he was shivering uncontrollably. We tried to call for help, but it was as if we had been cut off from the rest of the world. Our screams went unanswered, and the atmosphere in the room grew heavier, more oppressive. As I sat next to Arnab, my back against an iron almirah, I felt a cold breath pass over my left hand. When I looked to my right, I saw her, a figure of a middle-aged woman with long flowing hair. She was pale, almost translucent, and her face was indistinct, as if shrouded in mist. She moved silently, circling the room, her presence filling the space with an unbearable chill. The mosquito coil that had been burning in the corner suddenly went out, as if doused with water. None of us had moved, and yet it was extinguished. The room felt alive with an unseen force, and we were too terrified to do anything but watch. After what felt like an eternity, the pale woman faded away, disappearing through the window beside my bed. But the terror didn't end there. It felt as though something was now encircling the entire house, a cold, malevolent presence that lingered just outside. The air inside the room warmed slightly, but we could still feel the chill surrounding the house, waiting. Trying to regain some semblance of control, I decided to check my computer. What happened next was beyond anything I could explain. The computer booted up on its own, bypassing the normal startup process and going straight to the BIOS screen. The background image was a grotesque demonic figure, and the monitor flickered twice before shutting down. I tried restarting it 3 times, each time with the same result. On the 4th attempt, it booted up normally, as if nothing had happened. We spent the rest of the night in terrified silence, too scared to open the windows or doors. When the first rays of sunlight finally broke through at 5:30 in the morning, we felt a small measure of relief. But even then, the strangeness didn't end. The mosquito coil, which had been extinguished hours earlier, suddenly reignited as the sunlight touched it. We never spoke of that night again. Arnab recovered, but he refused to discuss what he had seen or experienced. My family and I eventually moved out of that house, and I've never encountered anything like it since. But the memory of that night haunts me to this day. What was that pale woman? Why did she appear to us? And what was the presence that encircled the house, waiting just outside? I've never found answers to these questions, and perhaps I never will. All I know is that something inexplicable happened that night, something that defies logic and reason. This story is based on true events, though names and details have been altered. The house on the marshland remains a mystery, a place where the line between the living and the dead seem to blur. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, remember, sometimes the most terrifying things are the ones we cannot explain.
And so, we return to the world of the living, but the shadows linger. The pale woman on the ship, the weeping girl on the tracks, the cold breath in the Marshland House. These are not just stories. They are reminders that there are things in this world we cannot explain. Forces that exist beyond understanding. Did these events truly happen, or are they the products of fear and imagination? The answer may lie somewhere in between, but one thing is certain: the world is far stranger, far darker than we dare to believe. If you enjoyed these tales of terror, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. And remember, the next time you hear a dog howl in the night or feel an icy breath on your neck, ask yourself, are you truly alone, or is something in watching